great to have you, Mr. Ryan Roxie. Talk of MetalTalk. How are you, sir?
Thank you very much for having me on as well.
Man, well, I guess first of all, it's weird times. I guess the first question's got to be, how you doing?
I am hanging in there. Obviously, we are indoors these days.
Yeah.
I spend about 99% of my time in this room. It's my
Mm-hmm.
son's room,
Oh, nice.
and I've been filming content for YouTube, doing a podcast,
Yeah,
as well as a bunch of guitar stuff. Yeah.
it's awesome. I've kind of, what did I say? Life's going on. What did I say?
I'm drinking a
Life is
lot of
good, actually.
coffee.
Sorry. Good, man. Well, actually, I've been watching, you've been posting so much on Insta, on YouTube. It's really amazing. I see like lots of guys are making really good use of this downtime, I guess. So,
Yeah, I think as musicians, we're
mm,
always sort of looking for the next stage, and being that the stage that we're used to performing on
yeah.
has sort of been taken away from us temporarily. We're in search of a new place to perform, and luckily, I found the
Mm-hmm.
internet and this room a nice
Mm-hmm.
place to create and perform a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Does it feel like a nice break? Because I've had some guys who are going, it's giving me downtime to practice this or pick up old songs or all kinds of stuff. Or does it feel like a kind of stir crazy? Not yet.
Well, I think you can always look at it both ways. I mean, you
Yeah.
can look at it as a time to really be creative and do less distractions because
Hmm.
you are so focused in one place, in one spot. But at the same time, you need to be out and you
Yeah.
need to be social uh, with with just other people, whether it's, like I said, it doesn't have to be in person right now.
Mm.
It can be just online. But I think to a certain degree, to get those ideas and to get inspirations, you have to be a bit of social. So I've
Yeah.
actually gone more social online than, because I'm
Yeah.
just forced to.
For sure. It's really cool. Well, that brings us on to your guitar lessons. As you're launching, can you walk us through that?
Yeah, I saw a need. To be honest with you, I've
Mm.
been working on this guitar lesson method
Yeah.
for a number of years now. I've gotten together with some other teachers. I'm sort of like the spokesperson for it, but the System 12 guitar method is a collaboration with a bunch of us, and we've taken pretty much all of our experience. I have a lot of experience, not just playing
Mm.
guitar, but teaching guitar as well. And we put this system together, and we were going to release it while I was on tour with Alice,
Yeah.
which would have been right now and in the coming weeks. But when everybody started getting shut down and self quarantine became the norm, then I saw the need right now for people to learn guitar today,
Mm.
not
Yeah.
tomorrow, not next week. Try to learn it today. So we set up a Kickstarter campaign to actually fund what we want to do with our guitar
Mm.
method. The official version that comes out, but we've already made the beta test series and the beta
Yeah.
test version that goes out to people that that contribute and pledge like the day they do it. So people
Yeah.
are actually starting to learn guitar with our method right now.
Damn, that's awesome. Actually, you kind of answered what I was going to ask next. Was it a long time coming, or was it something that just kind of was brought on by this quarantine? But it's something you've been thinking about for a long time.
Yeah, I've been doing online lessons now for the last, I guess, 10 years. I have a bunch of
Yeah.
series with a company called Play Along as well.
Yeah.
This is my first real online venture with my team by myself, going out there by myself. And so you have to understand, though, I was teaching guitar
Yeah.
to, you know, back when I was 15, 16 years old, growing up in California. That's sort of how I made, my early pocket money, was teaching other kids guitar. And back then the riff was Smoke on the Water. And
Yeah.
guess what? Today the riff is almost still Smoke on the Water,
Yeah.
although there are a couple more riffs that we put in. We
Yeah.
actually, with this System 12, we guarantee that you'll learn guitar in about 12 weeks if you really apply yourself, and you'll learn 12 songs and 12 riffs.
Oh, damn.
System 12 is basically right now our uh, first beginners to intermediate type course. If you
Yeah.
want to dive into your guitar journey, this is the perfect method to do it with. We will eventually, very soon, start introducing uh, techniques and courses and lessons that involve more advanced playing. But for
Hmm.
right now, I think no matter where you're at as far as the level of guitar playing, if it's in the beginner intermediate stages,
Yeah.
you're going to get something out of this course, and you're going to be able to take from all of the sort of guitar life hacks that we implement into the set. And right now, it is sort of my name on the course, but the idea is eventually to have a bunch of
Yeah.
different guitar players from other bands and other known bands teaching the same sort of curriculum, just their version of it. But the method that we're using, the 12 lessons,
Hmm.
in the 12 sort of the number 12 comes up a lot in our system. That's hence the name system 12. But there's only 12 notes
Yeah.
total in music. With their sharps and flats, there's only really 7, but then they have
Hmm.
sharps and flats, and that's a total of 12. There's
Yeah.
only 12 frets on your guitar until it actually repeats itself. So there's little secrets like that you can check it out. You can
That's
check out
brilliant.
when you go check out the Kickstarter campaign.
Check it
The
out.
campaign is going on right now. We're still reaching our goal. We're still out there every single few days updating like what the progress of it. We've been really lucky to get a lot of great support. We're calling our sort of backers the Roxie Guitar Army, because we're
Hmm.
building this army of guitar
Yeah. Yeah.
players. And so far it's really inspiring to see a bunch of people that are taking this time that could be spent just being, down, out, negative,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
turning it into a positive, and they're doing something that they've wanted to do for years, maybe have put off for years.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, learning guitar is one of the most therapeutic things you can do for yourself.
For sure. Well, I actually, I've had some downtime. I dusted out the old BC Rich Mockingbird and tried to run through some stuff on that. It's just a great time where you don't have pressure to go everywhere every day and just sit back and learn. For sure.
That's very good. I'm a fan of the BC Rich Mockingbird.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess. I'm just
Hmm.
gonna throw it out there and put a guess, because it's my theory that everybody plays the guitar that they play because one of their guitar heroes plays that model. And I'm thinking maybe Slash played a Mockingbird because you liked it, or was it Joe Perry? Was it one of those two?
Slash, I'm pretty well. You got it perfectly. The Velvet Revolver era of Slash with the Red Mockingbird. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was.
Well, and that's the whole reason why I feel that the course that's sort of taught by me is good for people that like want someone that they've listened to for
Mm,
years and they know what they do to teach them.
yeah,
And it's always, I mean, if I was a kid and I could have been taught by, someone that I was listening to on a constant
yeah,
basis,
yeah,
I would have jumped at the chance. If
for
Eddie Van
sure.
Halen would have been able to teach me guitar back in those days, or Randy Rhoads, are you
Yeah, yeah,
kidding me? I would have jumped at it. So I'm
that's
glad that
awesome.
I'm able to offer that right now.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, going back to the downtime and this kind of break from everybody from the road, what do you think about that from kind of the industry perspective? Because I was looking at an article in Billboard a couple of weeks ago, and they were saying this is
Yeah.
going to change the industry up, and it's going to mean long-term things for promoters, for artists, for whatever. What do you think about that?
I was thinking about how things are going to change in our industry,
Yeah.
uh, uh, you know, because of this downtime a lot. I've been thinking about that a lot, and I'm like I said, I'm usually trying to give that cup is half full sort of
Hmm.
energy into it,
Yeah, yeah.
and I feel that perhaps you know what's going to happen is that
Mhm.
I feel that travel is going to be a bit harder. Touring,
Yeah,
just like the way I've been lucky and blessed enough just to tour as much as I have been in as many countries as I have, might be a little bit tighter. It might be a little bit more restrictive to be able just to go and do run tours here and
yeah,
there, and but at the same time, that might put more focus on what we do visually online, whether it's online concerts, whether we really step it up doing live streaming. Like what I've been doing is I've been doing live stream podcasts, and I do this thing called Sunday Live Stream Sunday, where I do a 3-song acoustic set on my YouTube channel every Sunday. And I try to work the audio and the video every week. It's a work in progress. It's getting better and better, but I try to make it as professional as possible. And I honestly think that musicians are going to need to concentrate a bit more on the video and audio aspects of the internet to reach their fans. And, to be honest with you, there might be more media outlets for that, where, this generation that's growing up now doesn't really know MTV as a music video show. They know it more for programming. But when I grew up, MTV stood for, music television, and it was videos. So there will be hopefully some more concentration on higher notoriety of videos and songs. And like I said, the fans hopefully will remain the same and support the artists any way they can. I mean, obviously, we're so lucky to have a fan base like the Alice Cooper fan base. They've been able to allow me to do my solo stuff, to do the other projects and bands. They've always been supportive and following. So I feel that if right now our touring is limited, or right now it's completely out, but once it starts back up again, if it doesn't go back to the way it was constant, then hopefully the fans will be able to stick with us within other projects that we're doing, whether it's videos or whether it's online stuff like this.
The ones I've seen, no one's canceled. I think everyone's kind of, as much as they can, they're moving it all to next year and rescheduling stuff.
Yeah, so. I think every musician's trigger word these days is postponed. I think when people hear postponed, they have a little
postpone
twitch.
it. Have you got, when you're coming back on the road, have you got any, you're going back out with Alice at the end of the year or the start of next year for the cruise?
Yeah, there's definitely dates that are, we're getting updates all the time about when, as soon as the, as soon as the ban is lifted and as soon as the, someone says, hey, go for it, we're ready. I mean, the vans are packed, the tour buses is, probably shined up and ready to go. And everybody that I've talked to in the band is really excited to get back out there. But we're also realistic, and we also want, the safety of not just our band and our road crew. We want our fans to be safe as well. So it's definitely a strange time, like as everyone has probably repeated many times in these last couple months, are these are surreal times. And it's one of those experiments that hasn't been tested yet. No one knows what it's like to stop an economy and then start it up again, or to stop an industry like the touring industry and then just start it back up again. I mean, you realize when this all first happened, everybody, I think, at first was thinking, oh man, bummer, I'm out of work. But then if you go, okay, well, wait a second, if I'm out of work, that means that the person that's driving our trucks are out of work, which means the people that are working at the venues that even serve the catering are out, so it's such a domino effect that it gets a little bit overwhelming. So I feel, the best thing to do for us to do, take a deep breath, accept what it is right now, create as much as possible during this time. I guarantee you there's going to be some great albums made. There's going to be some great music made. There's going to be some great content made. There's going to be some amazing interviews that are going to be, done all during this time, because we do have zero, distractions other than like right here, right now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. I guess, that's definitely glass half full.
Well, look at, I'm actually, I have a cup that says life is good. And,
good man.
You try, you can look at it one or two ways. I mean, and I always try to look at it, you got
to look at it the positive. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm a Luke Skywalker fan, not Darth Vader. yeah. I was basically talking about how Paul Stanley, I've watched
Mhm.
his
Yeah,
videos,
yeah,
and every single time they get better and better. The evolution is
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
incredible. But you know what? Good for him, and good for
yeah,
everybody to put their hat in.
for
I
sure.
saw that even one of my heroes growing up, Rick Springfield, did one as a joke. He tuned for about a
Yeah, yeah,
minute and a half, but that was kind of funny, you know.
that's cool.
I will
That's
teach you tuning in the System 12 guitar method for sure, and I'll
even
teach you
better.
tuning the right way,
There you
not the
go.
Rick Springfield way.
The Mockingbird was the second guitar. Well, I think the first proper guitar I ever bought, and it had a Floyd Rose. And so I just
Oh
went, oh,
yeah.
I love the look of this. I'm going to get it, And then I said to a few different people, a few friends of mine are all guitar players. Have you ever tried to tune a Floyd? I go, no, it must be it must be the same way. And it's two
Snap,
days
snap,
later.
snap.
Yeah, 2 days later. There you go. Now, I was just listening
That
to
is
your.
actually one of the cool bonuses, if you want, come out for
Yeah.
me to talk about. That's one of the cool bonuses of our System 12 is that we have a team of teachers that helps out with the lessons. So we actually, when you've pledged up to a certain level,
Yeah.
you will be able to be in this private Facebook group that talks about things, simple things like
Mm-hmm.
what kind of tuners are there out there? How do I tune my guitar?
Mm-hmm.
How do I change a string if I break a string? What's the best practice amp to get? So all those types of questions that you kind of, don't know at first
Yeah.
are answered in a simple way with our
Sure. Well,
system.
that's really great, actually. There's not even just one lesson and cut. It's everything kind of surrounding it as well when you go up the tiers. That's really
We
cool.
want to be the one-stop shop for learning guitar. We want to sort of be your launching pad for starting
Yeah.
your guitar journey. Because at the end of the day, once you get up to a certain level
Mm.
of playing, you're going to take that journey on yourself.
Yeah.
And we want you to, once you decide to go on your own and go down that rabbit hole that we call YouTube, that we love, you can just spend hours and days and weeks just learning and absorbing information. We want you to know all the basics, all the fundamentals, and have a good foundation of the guitar so you can apply all those techniques to what you exactly want to do with your guitar journey,
Mm-hmm.
what you want to accomplish. So
That's awesome. Well, this week I've been in anticipation. I've been playing your last solo album, I think Imagine Your Reality, on a loop,
thank you very
more or
much.
less. And it's a great record. If everyone listening hasn't heard it already, check it out.
Thank you very
Uh,
much. I'm
it's a
always
pleasure.
really, I'm really proud of that album
Mm-hmm.
because we made the exact album at the exact time that I wanted to make. And I've been able to promote it over a long period of
Yeah.
time. And that's by design. I said I was going to put out 10 music videos for that album, and I actually have. So I've been able to
Yeah.
put out, uh, an entire sort of every song is featured as its own little
Yeah.
uh, special song that it is, because as musicians we kind of all think of our songs as kids. Every one of
Yeah.
them is
Yeah.
special in its own way. And so I was happy to the whole process of being able to make the record first with a great production team, then be able to roll it out and push it out with lyric videos done by another guy that is named Gustav Kronfeld, who's done all our lyric videos. And
Mm-hmm.
he just does each one in such a unique, special way that every song has
Mm-hmm.
its own platform.
I was watching the Me Generation one just now with the texting and the
A cool
camera.
idea,
I really
right?
like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you that haven't seen it, all the lyrics of the song come back in a back and forth text, and it's
Yeah.
almost like you're watching the video from your iPhone.
Well, I really like that. And also, it's funny because it seems like more and more guys are putting out, kind of giving a longer life to their records, if you know what I mean. Because it just, I think, is the way that people consume records has changed so much. So it seems nicer to have it kind of spread out, over a longer
Absolutely.
time.
I mean, look, at this point, the music, because most people get their music from either a streaming service
Hmm.
or they get it from YouTube,
Yeah.
it's not going to generate a lot of income. So we might as well make it as a promotional as possible.
Yeah.
Make the promotion last for as long as we can. And by that time, all you do, if you hook one person from one of those videos and one of those songs, who knows, they will check out the other songs. And then once they do absorb that, they'll say, well, hey, I want something tangible. I want the vinyl. I
Yeah.
want, the actual booklets that I can read through and make it old school. And that's what I'm really happy about, this new generation of music fans, is that they accept vinyl as sort of
Mhm.
a cool thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, my daughter's 14 and she listens to an album with headphones on, reading the liner notes
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the jackets, on the record sleeve jackets, just like the way I did when I was growing up.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I think someone was saying that, I don't know, there was like a generation that first got MP3s, and just people loved something tactile and physical, and they kind of lost that for a while. And now it's back with vinyl, it's back with these big box sets. People just love, some piece of art you can look at and hold as well as you're listening to it.
Yeah, well, I've got all that stuff. I have a box set called the
Mm.
Roxie box that
All
has
right.
4 CDs in it. I also have
Yeah, yeah.
my last 2 or 3 records are all out on vinyl as well, and a
Nice.
lot of the Alice Cooper records, actually pretty much all of them that I've recorded on,
Yeah.
are now released on vinyl in one way or another. So yeah,
Uh,
the vinyl experience is definitely something that you should check out if you
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
yet. And it does, believe it or not, for those of you listening out there, um, we actually get paid through those tangible sales, like whether it's
Mhm.
vinyl or CDs.
Yeah.
We actually do see some money, as opposed to where streaming, yeah, we'll see like 18 cents every 6 months,
Yeah.
which is great.
I saw, who was it? I think it was a while back. I think it was Niles Lofgren from Springsteen's band. And
Yeah.
he put out a tweet that said something like, "This is my royalty check from streaming," and it was like $5, 50 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. But you know
And he
what?
goes,
Hey, look, if
mhm.
I was going to just complain about that, then I would be overlooking the
Ah,
millions of opportunities that I have to reach millions of other people
yeah,
through streaming services that I wouldn't have if it was just me in my room, licking stamps, sending out,
yeah, yeah,
CDs and vinyls. So
true.
I look at it as like, look, YouTube and those types of channels, Spotify, iTunes, they are amazing sort of distribution places for
Hmm.
me and opportunities for me to reach as many people as possible with my music.
Mm, true. Well, your discography is too impressive and too long to go through entirely. But there was one, I was just looking through, the stuff you do with Alice, the stuff you've done yourself, so many different albums. But there was one that really caught my eye, which was the second Snakepit record, where
Yeah,
Ain't Life Grand.
Ain't Life Grand. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, until recently, I didn't know you were playing on that. And I love that record. I think it's such a terrific, it seems underrated.
It's one of those uncut gems.
Yeah,
It's one of those ones that's like maybe a diamond in a haystack
for
to,
sure.
to put two to put two cliches together. It's
What
it's a
was that
really
like?
cool album. That
Yeah.
that whole experience was wild, as you would think.
Yeah.
It was Slash was going through a very tumultuous period of
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
life. I was going through a crazy time in my life. Everybody in the band was kind of on high octane
Yeah.
creativity.
Yeah.
We go there every single day to record and write music as a band. um, a lot of creativity on that album, a lot of music on that album.
Mm,
And to be honest with you, I feel it's some of Slash's best guitar
yeah.
playing.
Same.
um, definitely my favorite guitar playing that he had on, other than obviously Appetite, because I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
Appetite was just such a
The seminal.
monumental album.
Yeah.
But Ain't Life Grand, full of straight ahead riff rock. You
I
really
mean,
get a
it's
sense of
incredible. Yeah.
how good a riff writer Slash is. You get a sense of how we all work together
Hmm.
to create songs and create a vibe. And I got to be honest with you, the voice of Rod Jackson on
Yeah,
that album is just incredible.
it's
I
monster.
like listening to that album to
Yeah,
this
yeah.
day. So
Oh,
if you
that's
do see it,
awesome.
I mean, I've seen it on streaming services
I
sometimes
think
when they
it's out
take
of
it
print
off.
some places. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
out of print.
Sometimes they put it on Spotify and then they take it away. I've
Uh,
seen that happen with a couple of the albums that I played on. But when it is on there, I always give it a
yeah,
listen
yeah.
and I get a smile
That's
on my face.
awesome. Yeah, well, I mean, the Mean Bone and Serial Killer. There's too many tracks, but I love that album for sure.
Thank you, man.
Uh, well,
Appreciate it.
good. I guess now I've got to ask about Alice. How's things going back now? Back on the road with him.
I just interviewed Alice's daughter, Calico, for my podcast, and I have a podcast called
Oh,
In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie.
yeah, yeah.
So she was staying over at the house, at the main house with Alice and Cheryl and the whole entire
Hmm.
family in Phoenix, and they're doing good. Alice is one of those guys. He's maybe people say that I'm optimistic, but
Yeah.
this guy, born on a Sunday, he definitely looks at life through all the stuff that he's been through, the ups and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
downs. He's definitely been on an up now for many, many years. So he looks at things very positively, and I think he's hanging out, he's chilling. He's got his golf,
Yeah, yeah.
and but I can tell you one thing. I can tell you that he misses touring. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
I see Alice come alive every single night. I get that pleasure to see him
Yeah,
just sort of come to life when he gets on that stage,
yeah.
and it lasts all throughout the tour. It's such a inspirational thing for everybody in the band to play with a guy that gives it
Yeah.
100% like the way he does. And he doesn't have to. He's
Yeah.
proved himself as an iconic guy already, but it doesn't matter. He still gives it
Hmm.
and wants to keep uh, performing at a high level, at the highest level,
Yeah.
you know, even today.
How's the three guitar setup feeling for you? I saw you were doing a gear break. Actually, I was watching on YouTube, but kind of I think it
Rig
was Premier
rundown, yeah.
Guitar. Yeah, yeah, the rig rundown. I really enjoyed that. But it was you and Nita and I think it
Tommy.
was on it. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, it's myself, Ryan Roxie, Nita Strauss, and Tommy Henriksen,
mhm.
and we are one of those trio guitar players that just is a very cohesive unit. I mean, we're lucky also to have a sound technician
Yeah.
that really understands the tones, and we you know, there's a good balance. It sounds like a Mack truck coming in your face, but
Hmm.
when it comes time for me to take a solo or Nita to take a solo or
Yeah.
Tommy to take a solo, that always cuts through. And
Yeah.
we have a way of, knowing what songs this would be, good for Nita to do the solo in, or
Hmm.
what classic rock song would be good for Roxy to do it, or what,
Yeah.
straight ahead rock and roll old school song would be good for Tommy to be doing the solo in. And luckily enough, Alice Cooper has such a spectrum of a catalog of
Yeah.
music for over the years that we can divvy up those solos where it's never, ever an issue.
Yeah. That's awesome. But have you got a particular favorite? I mean, out of so many songs, that's a hard one.
Well, yeah, it's always a tough one to pick what's the one song, but I got to say, when that school bell goes
Yeah.
off and the whole crowd goes nuts and it's the end of the night.
Yeah.
So everybody's sort of reliving some sort of dream or rock and roll
Yeah.
fantasy
Yeah.
that they had when school's out starts, and then I get to play that opening riff. That's amazing. And I always wonder, was it Glenn Buxton or
Yeah.
was it Michael Bruce that initially used to play it? But I thank those two guys in the original band all the time for writing that riff, because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
brought me so much joy and brought the audience so much joy to be able to play
Sure.
it every single night.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, before we leave Alice, I was going to ask you guys did the retirement run with Motley Crue in what was it 2014, 2015? Were you surprised when they suddenly came back from the dead?
when they
Yeah,
when they released
decided.
the I was surprised a little bit about the Motley Crue going back on tour as quickly as it did, because it
Yeah.
wasn't that many years, I guess.
No.
But to be honest with you, I was touring during that whole time.
Yeah.
Once we started, when Nikki and the guys said, okay, we're not going to play any gigs anymore, we just kept going out and touring those years afterwards. So it take when you're sitting at home, I bet you not touring for a year must seem like 5 years. So for them to go out, I knew that it was probably going to happen
Yeah.
because, when you sign a contract and your name is Motley Crue, the natural thing would be contracts are made to be broken. Tour, whatever,
Yeah.
2022. I thought it would be a little
You
bit
thought it was going to be
later.
longer than that.
Yeah, but you know what? At the same time, it might be. Who knows? Like, we're not out of the clear yet. That is that tour.
Oh, it might actually end up being.
It might be
Yeah.
postponed by default. So my guess of them touring in 2021, 22 might actually be the reality, but we'll see. I hope not for them because I want them to go out. Obviously I love the guys in Def Leppard as well, and the guys in Poison are cool. I think it's a great bill, and even Joan Jett's on that bill.
Yeah. And I heard some stuff about their sound, and like we won't say which member, but one of the members using tapes and all that stuff. So yeah, it should be good.
Well, you know what, Motley Crue sounds is a 4-piece band. All right, and if you've seen any band that's a 4-piece band, you don't have that luxury of having that rhythm guitar going on during the solos. You don't have that luxury of 5-6 people singing. We have like 5 or 6 people singing because I'm singing, Chuck's singing, Tommy's singing, Nita's singing, Alice of course is singing, and Cheryl Cooper, who plays a lot of the roles in the show, as far as the Mademoiselle Guillotine and all this. When she's not doing the roles, she's singing as well. So we have a legitimate 6 people singing at any given time. Now, when you're in a 4-piece band, there's obviously things that you need to fill up the sound. We were very lucky, and that was one of the coolest things that people would say to us when we did that Motley tour, was that they felt that we sounded like we were using backtracks and like we were doing, and we don't. The only thing that the Alice Cooper band actually has is a really broken down sampler that has a couple parts that we, like when Alice gets his head cut off, there's a scream, there's another, sort of a sound of thunder or lightning, some eerie stuff, and then there's a small piano part that, because nobody plays piano, we have enough strings on stage. There's a little, but trust me, it's not done on any sort of time code or any sort of rhyme or reason. It's just an old knob that you press on a sampler that's probably should be changed years ago.
Oh, that's cool. No, fair. Well, I'm hopefully when that all comes out again, I'll be able to come out on the road and see it. Very much looking forward to that. Thank you.
I hope so too.
I guess that just leaves kind of, after this is hopefully wrapped up and hopefully soon, this kind of quarantine and all that stuff. What are your plans? More solo albums?
Yeah, we're going to go back out. We're going to go back out and finish out the tour that we had already planned. And then there's already, luckily for us, we already had dates now booked for 2021. So I can only, hope and anticipate that that's all going to go through. And in the meantime, with the guitar lessons that I'm putting together, that will all be up and running, and people will have learned guitar up to a certain point, and I'll definitely continue to monitor people and their guitar journeys. And who knows, with my podcast, I'll hopefully keep getting bigger and better interviews, although I've had some great ones just recently. I just interviewed Steve Stevens from Billy Idol's band, who's a great guitar player, one of my heroes. I was able to interview Dennis Dunaway, original bass player of Alice Cooper. Tommy Hendrickson came on the show. So a lot of people, so if anybody ever wants to check out anything to do with my world, whether it's the guitar lessons or whether the podcast or my solo work, just go to ryanroxie.com. That's the best way.
ryanroxie.com. You did, before everything shut down, you were doing the Planet Axe tours?
Planet Axe was basically my solo stuff with 2 other singer, guitarists, front guys. And it was Joel Cochet, and it was also another artist named Brandon Gibbs. So we all sort of front, we sing, play guitar. So we would use one rhythm section. We'd use a drummer, Kenny Bailey, and we'd use a bassist with Robbie Miller. He also plays guitar, and they would be our constant rhythm section. So then Joel would go on, then Brandon would come on, and then I would come on, and we'd all do our solo stuff. But then at the very end, we'd all have a jam, and that was what about Planet Axe, and Axe was AXE, like a guitar axe. Get it?
That's awesome. Yeah.
We
Kind of
thought we
reminded
were
me.
clever with the name.
No, it sounds really good actually. It kind of reminded me of like Satriani. You had something like the G3. Remember that one where he would do?
It's exactly what I wanted. You know, I wanted to do something like that with guitar players that sort of also fronted bands. And straight ahead guitar driven rock. That was the music, and that was sort of the style that we were going.
Cool. Awesome. So for everyone to keep an eye on your solo stuff, Alice stuff, everything, RyanRoxie.com, and for your podcast, RyanRoxie.com?
It's all just there at RyanRoxie.com, because there's a quick link to go to the podcast. You can check that out. Plus, I'm pretty active on Instagram, and that's just at Ryan Roxie. So come by and visit me there, or, just DM me, and I'll, usually if I can find the time, I'll DM you back. I'll be here in this room, probably filming something, so I have some time.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, I hope we can drop the links below when we got this up, so everyone can find it.
Please do, man.
Well,
thanks, thanks for taking the time. And
thanks so much.
I always say, it's people like you that carry the torch of rock that are going to keep it going through these, challenging times. But we're going to get on we're going to get onto the other end stronger, better, and hopefully more appreciative than we were before. Because trust me, I'm if I didn't appreciate being on the road before, which I did, but sometimes little things can get you like, the road it's tough, this and that. No, I am so looking forward to getting back out there. All right,
for sure. Well, we're all looking forward to seeing you out there, but thank you so much.
Thanks a lot for having me, man.